When the astronauts walked on the moon for the first time in 1969, they gathered pounds of lunar rocks and soil to bring back to Earth. The moon had always been a mystery up until then, so scientists were eager to examine this foreign material and finally gain an understanding of the moon. The lunar material needed to be brought home without any contamination, so the astronauts needed a special box that would keep everything safe. NASA reached out to Y-12 in Oak Ridge, Tennessee to create the Apollo Lunar Sample Return Container, or simply called the Moon Box.
One of the projects Y-12 is most proud of is our Moon Box. We made this for the Apollo program to go to the moon and bring back the lunar material. One of the reasons Y-12 was asked to do that is because of our capability in machining. They needed it to be sealed, and they needed it to not be contaminated with the atmosphere of the Earth when the moon material came back. So they wanted to machine it out of one solid piece of aluminum. Now this box is made out of that one piece of aluminum, except for the top. Right up here at the very top, there's a seal, but there's no seams on the side.
NASA had many demanding specifications for the moon box. Along with a lack of seams, the box had to be triple sealed and vacuum tight.
Y-12 was chosen because its machining capability is so precise. When we talk about 1/10 of an inch, we're really talking about 1/10,000th of an inch. And they didn't have anywhere else in private industry that could do the machining of the box. To machine that box took probably several weeks to make, out of one piece of material, to make a hollowed out box. So it took a lot of machining.
During Apollo 11, nearly 50 pounds of lunar rocks and soil came back to Earth inside the 2 moon boxes on board. After 5 more missions, a total of 842 pounds of lunar material journeyed through space safely inside a moon box, from the moon to a microscope.
And they'd go out and they'd look at round-looking rocks and do all sorts of geology there. And we had every 30 seconds of their life was planned for the next 7.5 hours. And they'd go out and we'd tell them, you see this rock? Tell me what it looks like. And they explain it. We say, okay, hey, it'd be nice to have a chip of that. So they'd break off a chip, or they'd take the whole rock and they'd put it in a rock box in a bag or something, bring it back to the lunar module, and then they put it in a rock box. Now you have to remember that it was hard for them they couldn't bend down and touch the soil, okay? Because they had this great big snowsuit on, they couldn't move. And so they had to do everything with a handle on it. So they had a scoop on the end of it, and they would take it and they'd scoop it and they would put it in a bag.
The things that scientists like Dr. Taylor learned from studying the lunar material brought back in moon boxes forever revolutionized the way we thought about the moon.
Every rock on the moon has metallic iron. Now metallic iron on Earth, when you find it, you write a book about it. It's so unusual. But the fact is, it's so reducing on the moon, such a lack of oxygen, that the rocks all have metallic iron. And so it was a new situation for us. So immediately, this is 1970, right after we brought back the rocks in July of '69, we already had an idea on how the moon formed. So see, you can put the context of the whole moon into one story that we put together from Apollo 11. This is the soil that was picked up by Neil Armstrong in Apollo 11. It's just in a little bottle, you see it. The unique thing about it is that you see how magnetic it is. It's easily attracted by a magnet. And we didn't understand that. It took us almost 3 years to figure out what was going on, because we went there with terrestrial hats on. We had our knowledge from Earth, but we never even thought about what makes a soil on the moon. There's no water, there's no wind, there's no rain, there's no rivers, there's no ocean, nothing that we have on Earth.
Today, we can trust that the knowledge we have gained from studying lunar rocks and soil is indeed accurate and uncontaminated, thanks to the protection it received from the Y-12 Moonbox.